Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our channel Let's Learn Automation. And in this session we are going to see the types of variable. So for that I will create a new class. So types of variable. So like the first one is local variable. Second is global or instance variable. And the third one is static variable. So these are the three types. In this session, we are going to focus on the first two types, local and global or instance variable. So let's see that. So for that, what I will do, I will create one method. So what is method? We'll see later. First of all, we'll focus on local and global. So how to create method? So I will use like public void and method one is the name of the method. So we are going to see the local and global variable. So whenever we are going to declare any variable outside the method and inside the class. So for example here integer a. So this variable is declared outside this method and even outside the main method, but available inside the class. So this is called as a global or in instance variable, global or instance variable. And if the variable is declared inside the method like integer b, so this is called as a local variable. Now let's try to understand what is meant by local and global variable. For example, now if we have some like city buses, so like city buses in Pune. So these city buses travel from like from Kharadi to Viman Nagar, then Shivaji Nagar. City buses preferably all the city buses travel in the within city. Like we have the Pune. So they travel only within the city, they cannot travel outside the city. So we can say that the scope of these city buses are only within the city. In the same way as we have the local variable, so the scope of this local variable is within the method only, that cannot be used or uh, that cannot be functional outside the method. So in the same way, if we have any bus, like we can say that government buses, so I can say MSRTC, Maharashtra State Transport Buses. So these are travel from Pune to Mumbai, or we can say that Mumbai to any another city like Nagar. So like this they are traveling. So they haven't restricted inside the like the city buses. So they travel outside the city too. Even some of the buses are travel outside the state too. So these are called as a global, or we can say that because they can go beyond the city limit. So their scope is not restricted within the city. So it is like a global. So in the same way we have this variable called as a global or instance variable, and the scope of this variable is within the class. So like this is the scope of the global variable, and this is the scope of the local variable only within the method where that variable is declared. So now this integer b variable is declared in method 1, so it can be only usable in this method. If any variable is declared inside the method, main method, like integer c, we can say that, then this method can be used only within the main method. Even this variable cannot be used in a method 1, and this integer b variable which is declared inside the method b cannot be used in a main method, as they are the local variables. So um, this integer b variable scope is like this, and integer c variable scope is like this. But this global or instance variable integer a having the scope like all over the class, so we can use it all over the classes. So this is the difference between the local and global variable. Now let's see the furthermore difference. Now if I need to print the value of b, okay, like so, and I like to print b like this. Okay, so here I am getting the error. What it says that initialize the variable. So local variable had need to be initialized, like we can say that 10, then the error will be gone. So this is what the local variable. So whenever we declare the local variable, that variable needs to initialize before its use. But if I try to use the global variable, so if I try to use the global variable here, like I like to print it a equals to then plus a. Now there is no error because there is no compulsion to initialize the global variable, because by default the value of global variable is 0 depending upon the data type. If it is double or float type, then 0 0.0. So in the same way as it is an integer, so by default its value is 0, but we need to initialize the local variable every time. So this is the difference between local variable. And also if I try to declare it as a public, then I am getting the error, and it says that remove the invalid identifier. And if I click on this, then that will be gone. But I can declare this as a public. So I can use the access specifier with the global or instance variable, but I cannot do the same thing with the local variable. So that is the difference between these two. Then this variable I just try to use over here. Even I can use this variable over here too. So like if I try to copy the same line, no problem. But yeah, there is a problem, like this is what the static method, that is the difference. So this is what non-static method. Why non-static method? Because in this method declaration I haven't used any static word, but in this main method the static word is available. So that's why this method is called as a static method, and this method is called as a non-static method. So let's delete this. Now this variable is non-static or global or instance. Why it is non-static? Because I haven't declared like a static. So that's why this variable is global instance and non-static variable. So this can be used in non-static variable directly. Okay, but if I need to use this variable in a static method, then I need to use the object. Okay, if I need to use the non-static variable in static method, then I need to use the object. So for using that, I need to create the object first, like this. X for example is object new. What is object, how to create the object, we'll discuss it later. But for now let's try to understand the difference between the global and local variable. So here X is a object, this is the class name, X is a object, new is a keyword, again the class name, and here I can use X dot a. So now error is gone. So I can use the global variable anywhere. Okay, and if I run this program, but the method we need to call this method too. So for example, if I call this method, to run, then we can get the output. So for that I need to use the object here to call, because this is the non-static method. So that's why now I'm able to run this. So we are going to see all this method, then why we need to use the object, everything in detail, but not now. So a equal to 0, here we can say that whenever, okay, so now let's try to understand the sequence of execution by which we come to know, or we'll understand how the program got executed. So remember one thing, main method is the most important method. We already discussed about this, because the execution of program start from main method. Remember, the execution of program start from main method always. Okay, so whenever we need to run the program, main method is most important. Now, so as we know that the execution of program start from main, so it is not like that program start from this class, then this particular variable is declared, then this method is used, something is printed in the method, so it is going to execute first. No, this is not going to happen. Always program start execution from main. Execution start from here. So first of all we have created the object, so object got created, then this line is going to print it. So if I run this program, let's see. So this line is got printed, and we are getting the, let's write down like main a. Okay, so that will be, we can differentiate this. So main a is printed 0. So why 0? Because we haven't initialized the global variable, and by default the value of global variable is 0. So here we got main a 0. Then after it we call this method, like by using the object which we have created of this class. So x dot method, whenever this method get called, the execution goes to here, and this particular method got executed. So basically first of all will be initialized to 10, then the value of b will be printed. So b equal to 10 here, then the value of a will be printed, a equal to 0, because a is a global variable and it is not initialized here over here. So that's why by default the value of a is 0. So in this way program execute. So what the difference, that we can use the global variable or instance variable all over the class in any method, but it is not about the local variable. We cannot use the local variable. If I try to use this local variable here, for example, like see so, and I try to use this line. If I try to use or try to print the value of b, then we are getting the error, and it says that create a local variable. So it means that this variable, okay, what is b, this is known only to method 1, not main method, because the scope of this variable is within the method 1. Main method does not know anything about the this variable. So that's why here we are getting the error, and it says that b cannot be resolved to a variable because it is a local variable. So that's why we cannot use the local variable outside the method. Doesn't matter the method is different or what. So this is the difference between the local and global variable. Thank you.